Good afternoon, everybody, or good afternoon, somebody, or nobody. Here I am. Hello, everyone. Nice to be back. We have got some serious latency between me doing this and it coming up on YouTube, but we won't worry about that too much. I know there's only a couple of people watching. We may get some more later on. I know Chris's Basement is on at 4, I think, so I just tried to jump in and get this done because I've had this a couple of days now and I've been waiting to unbox it, and yeah, I'll just want to get on with it and get into it and see what I've got for my money. Just before I start, one other thing I want to show you guys. I was approached by a guy from Canada the other day on a group I have on Facebook for the Ender 3. Sorry, not for the Ender 3, for the oh dear, the Prusa i3 Mark III. It's been so long since I've done one of these things, and it's been quite a long time since I've been in this room, so you'll have to put up with this. Laird, good to see you, mate. Rushmere, good to see you too. Hope the audio's okay. Hope the video will do for today. Like I say, kind of cobbled together. Anyway, received that. Like I say, I have this Prusa Mark III group on Facebook, and this guy contacted me and said, would you like to have a look at one of these? And he sent it all the way over from Canada for me. And it's a stepper. It's the motor driver, but it's got a 3-to-1 gear ratio inside it. And there's a few other little bits and pieces he's put in there for me as well. So at some point I'm going to bob that onto the Bear. We're going to have a look at that and see what it does. Very simple instructions for doing everything that you need to do. Very nicely laid out, very simple, very straightforward. And like I say, it's just a 3-to-1 gearing system, so it should help with feeds and things like that. But we'll have a look at that another day. But I just wanted to let you know that that may be coming up in the not too distant future. But today, good evening, Viking. Hello. Good to see you guys. Today is all about that thing that we all see day in, day out on Facebook. And that's agents for 3D printing companies saying, do you want to buy an Amazon return printer? It's this much, it's that much, you can save this much money, we've got no guarantee that it's going to be anything at all. And I've seen a lot of them, and I've always thought, I wonder, is it worth the risk? Is it worth getting? And I'm sure there are a lot of other people out there that think the same thing. Is it worth, running that risk of it? Buying a box of bits. So the other week it came up that there were some Ender 5 Pros returned to Amazon in the UK for £100 each. And I thought, well, that's just about all the money I've got set aside for something, but an Ender 5 Pro for £100 is a fairly good deal, I thought. So I bit the bullet. I had to send it via PayPal to the agent. I mean, I do know of this lady. I have spoken to her before about other things. So it was a bit of a risk, but it was a chance I was willing to take. It was converted into US dollars, so it was about 125 US dollars. I sent that off to an email address. She then sent me a little screenshot which showed that it was due to be sent to me. She said it'll be a couple of weeks. Well, that was 2 weeks ago, Wednesday just gone, and it turned up the day before. So it was just one day under 2 weeks from me handing over the money to the box turning up that I have here. I have split the top off the box. I haven't looked inside it. I wanted to share that with you. And I've heard people who have got like Ender 3s and stuff like that, and they've been absolutely fine and they've been untouched. And then I've heard horror stories of twisted extrusions and broken hot ends and all the stuff that goes with it. But I thought, for £100, it's got to be worth taking the risk. If I can get an Ender 5 Pro for £100 that might need a bit of tweaking, that's a fairly good deal. And I've always liked the look of an Ender 5 Pro. I've always wanted to have a look at one, but could never afford one. I mean, to be honest with you, I don't know how much they're selling for at the moment. I'm sure one of you guys can nip onto somewhere. Don't go onto AliExpress, because I would never buy one from AliExpress. But you can nip onto Amazon or whatever, and you can tell me what the Creality Ender 5 Pro is going for at the moment, and then we'll get into this box. We'll have a look, and we'll see, you know, has it been worthwhile? So we'll just swap over to the box. So there's the box. Like I say, it doesn't look to be in very good focus, does it? Shall we see if we can get the focus to work a bit better? Right, I've got to admit I have split this off, but that's as far as I've gone with it, okay? I've not gone any further at all. I've just literally cut the plastic that was on it, so that's as it's come to me. So we might as well, I mean, we've got, we must have at least 7 people watching. Woohoo! So without further ado, we might as well get into it, hadn't we, and see what we've actually got for our money. What have we got for our £100? Apart from a camera that won't focus. Now I'm going to have to be very careful here. I might have to stand up, and in fact I might just put the focus on manual, because that's jumping about all over. Right, I'm going to have to stand up, and I'm going to have to be careful, because this camera that you're looking at is very precariously balanced. So if I bang into it, we could well be causing problems. I don't know whether the audio is still okay now I'm stood up. I hope it is. But I can't really tell. But yeah, hopefully that audio is still pumping out well enough for you. £285. Right, so if this is a recoverable machine, I have saved myself £185. So that's a theory. So let's have a look, shall we? Drum roll, please. Right, okay, so having never had an Ender 5 or an Ender 5 Pro before, I have no idea if there's supposed to be something in there. If so, what? I can only assume by the way that's there, and there's a gap here, that this has been put back in the box. So they have actually opened it, because I would imagine whatever that is would have been there originally. So it looks like somebody's been in it. So there we go for a start. So okay, the extruder motor looks all right. There's no broken pins on it that I can see. It doesn't appear to have had, looking at the cog, there doesn't appear to be much in the way of any filament on it. I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign, but if nothing else, we've got an extruder stepper motor for £100. I'm guessing this, oh yeah, oh now there we go, look, this lifts out. So take that out of there. Okay, so this appears to be complete to the best of my knowledge. Doesn't appear to be a great deal of wear or damage anywhere that I can see on that. Again, all the pins on the stepper motor are all in place, so that's another good thing. There's no obvious signs of issues there. Like I say, this is my first ever view of an Ender 5, so it's all complete to guesswork to me. It's been together. I don't know whether you can see, but in these recesses here where the bolts go in, there is the anodizing has come off, so it's clearly been put together at some point. But yeah, no, that seems to run smoothly. There's no issues there, so that's good. So that's 2 bits we've got for £100 that so far seem to be worthwhile. Now I hope we all can see this. Somebody's had a little bit of fun with the magnetic surface, and I think that's where our problem lies. I think this, hopefully, is the only reason why this is an Amazon return. Whoever built it did not have much fun at trying to level the bed. Yeah, it doesn't appear they've had many attempts at it. I can only see there's a very faint line down the side here. There's a bit of a gouge there, a faint line there, and then this, I can only guess this was supposed to be a vase. So it's done the outer perimeter of the vase and it started to do the infill, but clearly it's either not been extruding filament properly, or he's been far too close to the bed with it. I think it's probably a bit of both, but there haven't appeared to have been many attempts at doing anything with that. I think that was a fail to start with, and just stick it back in the box and send it back. So at this stage, that could be the only issue. It could just be that they couldn't get it levelled, they chucked the toys out the pram, put it back in the box, and here it is. So we'll investigate a little further. Yeah, I haven't seen the LCD yet. I'm guessing that's supposed to be in that top section that I've chucked away. So this is the heated bed with the somewhat poor strain relief, but I suppose it only goes up and down vertically on this machine, so it doesn't need major strain relief. Well, it doesn't seem to be, those are all moving, so, and the actual bed itself doesn't appear to be in a bad condition. So it doesn't look like he's put the nozzle through the bed at any point, so that's quite good. So this is actually at the moment not looking so bad. It's got to be said, apart from the fact the LCD screen hasn't turned up yet. So the next part out, I'm guessing you would call this one of the gantries. So take a look at this. Of course, I'm going to have to go around and check all these and make sure that they're lined up right and they're under the right amount of tension. That appears to work all right. There seems to be no problem with that. There seems to be some rather mucky dirt on these wheels. Just let me see if I can get you in to have a look at those. I'll just bring this camera in. I don't know whether there's enough cable on it. We'll put that down there and we'll just see if we can't show you a bit of a close-up of that. So we'll just go back like that. I don't know whether you can see here, seems to be some sort of muck and dirt in there. It actually feels a little bit oily, so I don't know whether it was oil that was on the wheels originally and it's just been gathering dust while the guy decides whether he's going to send it back or not. But the fact that some of the wheels aren't quite right, I mean, that's not a major effort to put right, is it? Let's have a quick look at the hot end. The hot end looks okay. I mean, you can see the carriage moving, so that's clearly working all right. There doesn't appear to be any issues with the nozzle. There's no filament sticking out of it or anything. Yeah, that seems to look okay to me. Like I say, I've never had an N5, so I don't know whether there's something missing off there that I don't know about. But it doesn't seem too bad at the moment. You can see PTFE tube has been somewhat mashed. That might just want the end snipping off. I have got another piece of this should I see the need to replace it. It doesn't seem to be malformed though in any way or anything like that, so that's good. This is looking quite positive at the moment. Cable wise, they all seem to be fine. There doesn't seem to be any issues with any of those, so we'll move that out of the way and we'll bob that there. So we're getting, I guess we're getting down to the actual box at the bottom now. So we'll just move back to that for a second. Spatula. We have the spatula. That's good. Take this piece of foam out. and we're into the bottom of the box. Right, well, I'm guessing straight away that the spool of filament is missing. Okie dokie. We have a UK power cord, which of course is brilliant. We like that. We seem to have the guidebook, which is nice, although most of the instructions appear to be printed on top of the base, which is even better. And we have a box. The question is, what is in the box? I don't know what's supposed to be in the box. But we'll open it up and have a look. Ah! Right, well there's the screen. Back in its case, so it looks like the LCD screen is here. So that's a bonus and a half. Yeah, it's still got the plastic over the top of it. Looks to be okay underneath. So it's, yeah, so we've got the screen. Looking good. We've got the spool holder. Looking good. And we've got a bag of nuts and, well, mainly bolts, spring washers. And that appears to be it for the box of tricks. Which means that whoever built it has kept, now then there's going to be Allen keys, there's going to be side cutters. I don't know what else there should be. It might well tell me in here what should be in the box. And there it does. So yes, there's two wrenches, a screwdriver, the Allen keys, of course the SD card, unless that's in the front, but we'll look in a moment. The nozzle cleaner's gone, the spare nozzles have gone, the 200 grams of filament have gone, and the side cutters have gone. But if that's all that's missing, and the only thing that's wrong with it is the fact you couldn't get the bed level, we're doing alright. I mean, until we turn it on, we've no idea, have we? So this, I'm guessing, is the main base part. Okay, that all looks fairly fine and dandy. Looks like all the cables are still there. That one's labelled Fun 2. Which is nice, but they're all, that's quite nice, is that they're all labelled up. Nozzie Heat. N-O-Z-Z-I-E. Nozzie Heat. And we've got bed thermistor. So yeah, I mean, looks to be alright, you know, guys. It looks like I'm not going to be crying. Although that's famous last words, isn't it? So the only thing that's left in here then, I'm guessing, are 4 20 by 40 extrusions. Which are there. Packed in with a bit of scratchy old card. We'll just shake the last bit of foam out and see that there isn't anything hidden in the bottom. Afternoon, Derek. No, there's nothing hidden in the bottom. So we're basically missing the small spool of filament. No big worry. And the toolkit. No big worry. You know I've got plenty of tools. So we'll get this out of the way. And we'll chuck it on the floor down there. Like that. We'll move all this foam out of the way that I've got here that sat on my seat. We shall bring this back. Now the question is what do we do now? Are we going to, I don't know, take it to pieces, have a look inside to see what state the board's in, see whether it's gone bang? See, there's no sign of dust or anything on those fans. The power supply looks to be a Landy power supply. Never heard of that before. Do you want me to take the bottom off and have a look underneath, or do we just want to get this thing banged together and see if we can actually get it working? I mean, of course, there being no SD card, that means I've got no firmware for it. Not firmware, no slicing software, no slicing profiles, nothing like that. But I'm sure we can knock something up to make it work. So shall we bang it together? Shall we see if we can get some life out of it? What do you think? I'll wait and see what you guys decide. Do I have to wait a long time? Are we out of focus a bit? Do we need to sort the focus out? Right, that focus is a bit better. Come on, somebody tell me what we should do. Build it. Okay. Build it. Build it. Are we going to use the instructions? Use wonderful, wonderful instructions. I think we should. I think we should build it. So we've got top frame, we've got we've got 4. Well, that doesn't seem too difficult. Famous last words. Okay, so we're looking for 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 4. So I need 16 M5 for 25. So let's see if in this bag I've got 16 M5s per 25. This will at least it'll keep you busy till Chris's basement is on, won't it? Yeah, and then as soon as he starts, you can leave me to it and go over there. So let's see if we've got the necessary 16 bolts. Oh, these are all looking slightly different. That's not a good start, is it? Let's have a look. But first impressions for taking my risk of £100, I don't think I've done so badly. I mean, I can't guarantee that they're all going to be, you know, like this. I mean, we may find, you know, that you buy some and, you know, you buy something and it's not of this standard, but this appears to be not so bad. So there we go. We must have 16 now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Oof, moment of panic there. So, cheers Derek, appreciate that. Thomas thinks I should build it without the instructions. Well, I'm only kind of using the instructions, but we've got our 16 bolts. Now then, these extrusions, is there anything special? Oh, now they've got holes in one end. Now I think that those holes will have to be at the top, so it'll have to go on that way with the holes at the top, so then the top frame will bolt through. Let's have a look. I'm going to use the instructions. That's what they've done them for. I know it goes against everything that you believe. Okay, so that facing place the profile hole of the side upon. Install the profile, but not mess with the direction. Okay, so I think it is like that. I'm not to mess with the direction. Shall we go for a couple of shots of this and see if we can't... There we go. Let's get me on view, because I know you've missed me a lot. I appreciate that. So, Allen keys. Anybody see me Allen keys? Allen keys. Right, we've got some Allen keys. So I'm guessing they just go like that. I'm guessing. And like that. Oh, I tell you what, we're missing a cap off the front here. You know those little Creality square caps? There's one missing off this front corner. Wasted my money. How awful. Right, so I think the easiest way to do this... Are we still working alright? Are we still, you know, doing okay? We're not getting too juddery, or the audio's not dropping out or anything like that, because I haven't really set anything up at all. This is just sort of chuck a couple of cameras in and away we go. And kind of hoped it would work to some degree. Okay, so let's get... The nice thing is we've still got the spring washers on these, so that saves me the fiddly job of putting them on. If anybody has built one of these and has got any hints or tips or things not to do, like not buy an Ender 5, might be a bit late for that one. But yeah, I'm always open to higher intelligence, because I know there's a lot out there. I mean, I'm guessing it's going to be fairly straightforward. As long as I keep it fairly square, I can't see it being a massive problem. Ooh. Like I say, I'm just waiting for this overhead camera to land on me, because it's incredibly precariously set up. Just sort of jammed in place. I need to loosen that off slightly, because that's ever so slightly binding on the way in. So we'll just loosen that up like that until it starts. There we go, that's a lot better. So how is everybody? Is everybody okay? Are we all having a nice weekend? Are we all surviving this this thing we shall not mention? Doing good here. We're in a very lucky situation that where I live, the levels of infection and other things are incredibly low at the moment. We've been fairly lucky to this point, but I'm hoping you're all well and it's not been affecting you too badly. I hope you're all doing what's needed to keep yourself safe. Sorry I've not been doing anything recently, but just with one thing or another, I just haven't felt the call, if that makes any sense, to actually, spend some time in this room. I've not been in this room in a couple of months at least, since I've sat in here. Some of you might have seen on Facebook and on Twitter, I'm actually parting with a few of my machines. In fact, the Ender 3 Pro with the ABL kit and the direct drive kit has gone. I passed that on to a gentleman the other day who is going to make some use of it. So that's moved on. Basically because they're lying about and I could do with the money. And there's no point having them sat there stagnating. So they've gone. That's gone. If anybody is interested and is fairly local to me, or is willing to travel to pick up or whatever, I am also parting with the Artillery 3D SWX1. That's up for sale, and that has got the Hemira on it, and I'll leave it on. So whoever gets the X1 will get it with the Hemira. And of course the firmware all updated for that. The Genius, which is the small little sister, the baby X1, that's up for sale as well. I'm also getting rid of the Eri-1 Thinker, which is the version 1, but I have put it's got eccentric nuts on it, because that was the issue with that first series. In fact, I did a video on how to enlarge the holes and fit those, so I've that's off as well. That's going. I don't use that at the best of times. And also there's a Tevo Tarantula Pro that you remember I had quite an interesting build on, but got it sorted out and got it working, and it prints perfectly well. It printed PPE a while back, but again, I don't have a great deal of need for it anymore. And now I've got this, I'm basically getting myself down to this, the Prusa Bear. I've still got the Photon, and of course the Sekit Go, which is sat over there. But quite frankly, having any more than that, I don't see being necessary. So they're going to go as soon as I can find somebody that wants them. Really, that's the only issue, is finding somebody local to me who wants them, because there's no point trying to parcel them up and send them, because it's they'll never get where they're going in one piece, because I haven't got any of the original boxes left because I don't have room to store them, so they've just had to go. So they're built machines, all sat on a shelf over in my my storage shed or barn, whatever you wish to call it, where I keep all the tractors and the mowers and everything. They're all on a high shelf in there, and just waiting for somebody to say, yes, take one off your hands, give me a bit of money for it, so I've got something back from it, because quite frankly a bit of money would come in useful. If apart from anything else, I've got to get a new build surface for this, don't I? But yeah, that's kind of where I am with it. I did consider giving up altogether and just selling everything, but I'm sure at some point, maybe in winter when I've got a bit more time, I'll get back into it again, but it's just at the moment it's taking up space. There's no room for anything new. I could just leave them in storage until such a time as I change my mind, but no, they might as well go somewhere new, go to somebody who can make some use of them. And yeah, just sort of move forward, really. So right, we've got those bottom 4 extrusions on. Seems to be fairly stable, seems to be fairly level, so that's nice. Derek, I have PM due on WhatsApp. Alright mate, when I get 5 minutes I'll have a look at that. Right, so I'm kind of guessing we're going to have to put this gantry on now. Now, guessing it goes that way. So the motor's at the back. So we're going to have, I see, right, so that's going to sit on there. We're going to have a bolt through the top and a bolt through the side. So do we have the shorter bolts through the side and the longer bolts through the top? I'll check. It's always good to check. Right, so it says 8 pieces, M25 by 5. So no, it's all the same size ones. Now, is there any specific way of putting these on that keeps it square, or is it just get them all on loosely and then work it from there? I'm guessing that's the best way to go. Just get them all in roughly. That's binding quite heavily. Is that the right length I've put in, or have I put the wrong length in there? You see, that one's too long. Put one of the longer ones in, so we'll go back to doing it the right way. Right, so we'll have one of those in there. We'll have one of those in there. So yeah, if any of you, I mean, like I say, the biggest issue is getting them to you. If you're away from me anywhere, it's, I'm happy to split them down, cover them in bubble wrap and stick them in the box for you to arrange a courier to come and pick them up, but I'm certainly not being responsible should they arrive to you in a million pieces. But it is what it is. This is why I'm not expecting to get a massive amount of money from them, because I do appreciate people have got to arrange either to drive up and collect them or to have them sent, and I appreciate that's a lot of money. I mean, it's like Neris has always said, selling second-hand printers isn't a good way of making money, let's put it that way, because there are so many issues involved with the transportation, the condition when they get there, and of course you're always going to get, I can't get this to work, I can't get that to work, it won't print right, what am I doing wrong, what have you sold me? When it's the same as every 3D printer, you can buy 2 Ender 3s and they're not going to print the same. you know, you're going to have to tweak slightly more than the other, or do something slightly differently with. And I don't want the responsibility of that for somebody else. I want, you know, I know they all work. You know they all work. You've seen them all working. I just want to send them away. Like I say, recoup a little bit of the money that I've spent on, you know, bits and pieces for them and time I've put into them. And yeah, make some space. Start afresh. You're all very quiet. I do hope I'm still working. I still do hope the audio's still doing what it needs to do. Did you see the 3D Printing Nerds stream when he was with his daughter building 2 Prusa Minis? That was quite a nice stream this morning to wake up to. Quite enjoyed that. Yeah, that's fine. Anybody wants to message me or email me about anything, absolutely fine. My email details are on, I think they're on the info page of my YouTube account. And people like Derek have got ways to contact me. But yeah, give me a shout any way you like. Even leave a message in the comments. And I'll get back to you. Like I said, the X1 has got an original Hemera on it. I've even still got the box for that, in fact, up here. See, look, the Hermes. There they are, Hermes box. So it's not even a Hemera, it's a Hermes because it was the original. But that's on there. That's all working beautifully. And that will be going with it, because what's the point of me taking it off to put it in a drawer for it to get dusty? It might as well go with the machine. And then, yeah, if you feel like you want to take it off and put it on something else, well, that's up to you. Well, this is going together fairly easily, isn't it? So far, so good. Yeah, we've got that into there, we've got that into there. Okay. Right, there's no sideways play on that. So I'm loath to do anything with the eccentrics at the moment, because there's no wobble on that. It's not trying to move one side further forward or backwards. So I would say that's possibly fairly nicely set up already. That feels a little on the tight side. Is that the end stop? Just like that? Okay. That's interesting. That feels maybe a little bit on the tight side. It may be that eccentric nut will want loosening off slightly. It just... I mean, it's not gripping anywhere particularly. We'll see. We'll see how it goes, and we might just need to loosen that bottom nut off ever so slightly, just to make it slightly smoother flowing. So we've done that. So now we've got to get this Z-axis frame, and I'm guessing that is going to sit in. Huh. I was going to say it's going to sit in like that, but maybe I'm not right. Yeah, the Hemera is an amazing piece of kit, Thomas. It's got to be said. There's no two ways about it. Oh no, that does sit like that. Right. So the next question is where are the locating holes? I'm guessing that's the right way up. The motor at the bottom. Yes, the motor's got to be at the bottom. Now align the bottom profile, then tighten the screws. And we're using the M5x30s. So it's the big boys. And they're outside corners. So it's that one. So if they tapped these, oh, they have tapped these extrusions. Wow! So what do you think of my £100 spent so far then, guys? Do you think it's so far been worthy? Because I'm fairly impressed. I think I've got £100 worth of scrap parts here, to be honest with you. If nothing else. What have I done with that Allen key? There she blows. Yeah, now I'm suitably impressed up to this point. I think we are looking at the fact that the issue has been that they couldn't get the bed level and they've given up. I mean, in the back of my mind, I'm also maybe a little bit concerned that they've had a problem with the hot end, and I'm going to find a piece of filament stuck in the hot end and it's going to be a strip down and rebuild of that. But if that's the case, that's not the end of the world either. As long as the electronical box of tricks does what it's supposed to do, that's the most important thing. I don't want to be putting new boards in it, do I, if I can help it. I mean, I certainly wouldn't suggest for one moment that somebody that's never bought a 3D printer goes out and the first one that they buy is an Amazon return, because you know there is the possibility of a whole world of issues, and I think there's enough chance of issues with buying a kit 3D printer already without the fact that somebody else has been playing with it first. Nacho FPV, hello, welcome to the channel. Thank you very much for joining. So far, quick recap. We have got the tools are missing, the tools are missing, and the filament's missing. And we think, or I think, the only issue has been with leveling the bed. I think he's had a problem leveling the bed, and I think he's given up, put it back in the box, and sent it back to Amazon. That's my thoughts at the moment. So hopefully, if that's all it is, we're not going to have much trouble here, and it's going to be a good buy. Right, so now we've got this here hot plate to put on, the build plate, and I'm seeing 6 holes and 6 bolts, and I'm seeing 6 bolts down here still. So it looks like we've got all the bolts as well. That one hasn't got a spring washer on. Have any of them got the spring? Oh, right. Gonna have to put the spring washers on first. Well, I did read, Thomas, that they're trying to stop it. Amazon are trying to stop it as much as possible, and I've heard some people that have been offered returns and then haven't been able to receive them because Amazon don't particularly like the idea. But I don't know how true that is. It's only what I read, and it was on Facebook, so you know you can take that with a pinch of salt. And like I say, when I started, it was just a case of, we've all seen it so many times on Facebook, you know, returns printer, and I know some of you have bit the bullet before. I mean, I know, Derek, you've had didn't you get some return Ender 3s at one point? Came from somewhere, but I don't think they came from Amazon. But like I say, I just thought, I've always thought about it. I've never actually done it, and I thought I would, as an experiment, and the fact I've always wanted an Ender 5 because I like the idea behind them. But as an experiment, I would buy one, and then we can all see together what we get for our money. And so far, so good. So we've got those 6 bolts into there. I could have done this without reading the instructions. It's got to be said, Thomas, you were probably right. It's fairly self-explanatory. I should have trusted you. I should have trusted myself. So we've got those 6 into the build plate like that, and I'm guessing now it's a case of getting the screen on. I've got the extruder to fit, the screen to fit, the wires to put in, and I reckon I'm about there. I don't think I'm a million miles away, which will be good for you guys because you're all about to run off in a moment anyway, because Chris Riley is going to be firing up in about 2 minutes. So by all means, go over there, watch Chris, bob back and see me if you get 5 minutes to see if I haven't managed to blow the place up yet. But I do quite understand that Chris Riley is somewhat more important than I am. Okay, so I was worried about this. Sorry, hello. I was worried about this end cap down here being missing, but it isn't actually missing because it's going to be hidden by the screen when the screen goes on, like that. So it isn't actually missing, it's not there on purpose. So that's an even bigger bonus. So I'm guessing that's just 2 T-nuts into there. Set it up something like, oh, need a different size Allen key. You see, this is where I should have had the tools. Chrissy's 4:30, I have more time. Woo! Thanks, Derek, for your support. Appreciate that. But to be honest with you, if it was me and it was between watching me and watching Chris, I think I'd be watching Chris. But there you go. Right, so we'll have that T-nuts bit. So we'll have that one in. That T-nuts bit, so that's that on. We are getting very close now. So extruder gear has to go on. Now let me get this right. It's on that back corner, so we need to come round, and it's going to go. Doesn't give me any specific heights or measurements off the top that I can see, and if it does, I couldn't read it anyway. But that appears just to want to go into there, like that. I shall show you on the. Let's get this cam up as well. So that's just going to bolt into this extrusion here. So, change of Allen keys again. So we'll go to this Allen key. That's bit. And that's bit. Like I say, I don't know whether there's a specific measurement here which I haven't done, but we'll worry about that later. I'm sure somebody will tell me. So that means spool holder. So spool holder goes in there. So yeah, spool holder is at that height. And then so put that in. Now that T-nut's not grabbed that time. Let's see if we can get this one to grab. Yeah, that top one hasn't, so we'll just loosen it off. And then we'll tighten it back up again, and that generally gets it to grip, which it has done. I've probably set that too low now, because the spool's going to touch the table, isn't it? So, trendy new kind of spool holdery thing, which is a quick release. Yeah, that's going to be too low. We're going to have to wind that up a bit. Somebody should have told me. See, you're not helping, are you? Because nobody's told me that that's too low down. So we'll just take a little bit of a turn off both of those. Like that. We will slide that up. If it'll go. We are working. There we go. We'll get it up to there so we'll get a full spool on it. Tighten that back up. And we will tighten that back up. Well, this is going remarkably well. We're expecting blue smoke at this rate, aren't we? Because it's all going far too nicely at the moment. So we're there. So done that. Done that. T-nut's all done. That's all done. That's all done. So it's time to connect the cables. Wow. Okay. So we're going to do it. We're going to do it like a noob. We are going to do it like a noob. Well, we know that goes into there. I've cheated already. Now, although this end of the cables are all labelled, which is brilliant, it would appear that this end of the cables isn't labelled at all. So this end comes off the hot end, and the extruder and all that isn't labelled. So although, like I say, this is all nicely labelled for us, which is fine and great, and we're very thankful for it, the end that you plug into isn't. So we're going to have to do a bit of guesswork to get sorted out. But it's fairly clear that that's for your heated bed, which means that one must be for your thermistor. And it appears to be 2 white wires. Yeah, 2 white wires. So we'll find bed thermistor. So that goes into there like that. So that was fairly simple. We have got the Nosy heat. I do like that. I've got to show you that. Go in, zoom in. Can you read that? Nosy heat. I think that's fairly hilarious. So that's got to be for that. So we will line that up, and that goes in nicely like that. So then we're going to have the hot end thermistor. That one, nozzle thermistor, that's there. So that's nice and straightforward. Of course, the colour coding helps. This one is Fun 2. I'm guessing that's supposed to be Fan 2. It really ought to employ somebody English speaking, a native English speaker, to proofread everything before they produce it. It would save so many problems. Okay, that one's got nothing written on it. Plus it has, it's hiding all the way down there. And that says Fun 1. So we're guessing that's Fan 1. So that goes into there like that. So what have we got left here? So we've got Z and Z. So we've got Z end stop and yeah, we've got Z end stop and Z motor there, and then here. Are you all taking blue yellow part cooling? Thank you, Sean. Appreciate that. Oh, dun 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 dun. We have an issue. The X-axis stepper motor. We have a badly mangled pin there, which has popped out of its socket. I'm guessing, hope I'm not wrong, but I'm guessing it goes in that one. Got to get my old eyeballs working. There's my clip part, so that wants to be that way, and I'm guessing we have to get that into there. Okay, we're just going to have to be careful when we put that one in. But apart from that, we should be good to go. So I've got Z and Z. So this is nice, the fact that they're sort of, they're all off the matching ribbon cables. So they're actually spliced off. So you've got your Z and Z, your Y and Y, and whatever that one says it is. And that's my X. And that's my X. So we'll get those plugged in. Might as well, haven't we? So Z. We say this was Z. No, that's Y. That's my Z. So this is the one with the dodgy connection. That's going to go into the Now then, probably around the back is probably the best idea, I think. Okay. And then the Z end stop is up at the top, so I'm guessing we've got to go up. Labelled on here, just out of interest for the novice, have they actually put? No, they haven't. So you could be guessing at this stage. That up, that in there, and then that just leaves us, in theory, what have we got? I'm out of shot completely now. Nearly. So I've got the extruder, which is, nearly forgot where the extruder is then, into there. And then we have got you know, it's been an awful long time since I've been anywhere near a 3D printer. Oh, a little bit strange. Screen to plug in. Not quite sure about all these cables. We might have to try and look online at cable management and see what other people have done to. You see, it's like that. I think I should have had that underneath rather than over the top. Let's pull it out. We'll put that extruder underneath. Not the extruder. Oh dear me. Getting old, you know. It's going to rain here in a minute. We'll put this cable into this stepper. Underneath there like that. That sits better with me. And then, not sure. I wouldn't prefer that. Go underneath. Oh, it's not long enough. Oh. Oh. Make it a bit. Oh, might just get away with it. Oh, it's a bit too tight to do that. So we're just going to have to come up and into here and hope it doesn't foul. But you never know. Right. Right, nobody said anything for a while. Am I still actually streaming? Or have you all given up and gone home? It says I've got 10 watching. So yeah, clipped all those. Now, it hasn't told me where to put the screen in. Oh, as it has there. EXP3. Okay, so we're just going to tilt it up. Which one is EXP3? EXP1, EXP2, EXP3. So EXP3 is the one on that end. Like that. So, we should move this back to here. We shall spin that round like that. We will move these Allen keys out of the way. Still here. Good. Thanks, Derek. We're going to put that to there. It's got really, really dark here. It either means impending doom with me setting this up, or it just means we're going to have a bit of a rainstorm, which could be interesting for my internet. I'm just going to get that a bit more. Oh, there we go. It started. It's raining. So there we go. We'll get that back level like that. So we'll get some power in the back, and then we'll go for the switch on. This is where it could all go very, very wrong. So we'll get the camera set up for you here. Like that. Power. This is where I knock everything over, getting the power to it. Make sure the switch is off. I have checked it is set to 240 already, don't worry. I did that in passing. I mean, I know I should have shown everybody how to do it, but I think most of you guys that are watching me today are quite aware of checking your voltage. It's far more important to us in countries that run 240 than it is to the guys who run 110, because if you have it set to 240, it just doesn't light up properly, whereas if we don't have it set right, we will blow our main boards and goodness knows what else. Now this was a real issue. I should really, you can hear all the banging, I should really have had this plug in before we started, because I'm now trying to slip behind the back of the table to get the plug in, and that's bad management. I should have right, we're in. We have power. I'm sure you can see me struggling. Oh, it is really raining. Really raining. And the wife's just come back with the daughter from walking the dog, so they'll be very pleased they got back in time. So, we're going for power cable. In. I am going to show you that we are set to 240. Switch is there. It's 230 that side, 115 that side, and we are set over that way, and it says in the little red window 230, so we know we're right. Okay, so back into position, time for the switch on. Are we ready? 3, 2, 1. And we have fan noise. We have a sign that says Ender. And it says Ender 5 Pro ready. At this stage, there is no sign of any blue smoke. Alien Paul, congratulations for turning up just at the right moment. Just as we powered up. There we go. It's a good look at the screen. We'll have a look at what that says. There you go, that's the version I'm running. I don't know whether that's the latest. I have absolutely no idea. It's all complete guesswork. So, what we need now is to see if stuff heats up. So, let's tell you what, let's try. We'll try homing first. Now, of course, this home's back left corner, as opposed to back right corner, as opposed to front left corner, as you would imagine with all our normal machines. But that's, apart from the fact the motors are moving rather slowly, very slowly, mind-numbingly slowly. I'm just going to sit on the switch in case this micro switch doesn't touch in time. Oh, but it does. Now you see he's got that. That isn't so bad. The setting that he's got that to isn't bad at all, especially when I get the build surface under there. So it's homed perfectly well. Let's just see if we can get. We'll do preheat PLA. So that's nozzle, that's a bit low for me. I want that to, let's go to 210 for the nozzle. We'll have the bed at 50 and we will store those settings, and then we will go back and we will go back and we will go main, and then we'll go prepare, preheat PLA, preheat PLA. So we'll now see if we get up to temp. This is going well. This is going, oh sorry, not the table. This is going incredibly well. Got to remember, this is an Amazon return printer. £100 for what I'm reliably informed is 285 at the moment. So £285. I don't know whether that's Amazon or whether James found that for me. Was it you, James, that found that for me? I don't know whether that's on Amazon or whether it's on AliExpress or what. I have absolutely no idea. Yeah, we're gonna have. Oh, I tell you what. I have an idea. Oh, that's off the Creality site. Very good. Thank you for that. I've got my brain working now. This could get painful. Somewhere there. Look. Right. I've got an old bed surface that was off the, as you can see, the Ender 3 that I sold. And what surface did it have on it? Ooh, I don't like that. That's not half as sticky. It had I put a TH3D flex plate on it, and I've left it on it when I've sold it. That's actually got a lot more stick than that Ender one has. So we're going to go with this one. So we better print something in the middle. Right, what we're doing for temps. So we've hit 50 on the bed, and that seems stable. We've hit 210 on the nozzle, and that seems stable. I think we can peel this off, can't we? Because I'm not going to be sending it back, am I? So we'll go for bottom corner. You can play all your funny music or whatever. Up she goes. There she is. In all her glory. All that extra glare now you're going to get. See if I can get you in a little bit. There we go, look. Look at that for quality. You don't get that everywhere, do you? So, I suppose the next thing to do is to we'll level the bed. I don't suppose we've got any sort of assisted bed levelling on here. Any description? No. So we'll disable the steppers. Oh no, that's interesting. It says disable steppers X and Y, or disable all steppers. Well, that's very interesting, isn't it? So we'll go with that one. I can't tell whether it's disabled them or not. It is indeed has. So we'll do a quick manual bed level. See where we get. Now the problem is I haven't got a piece of paper. A piece of paper. See, this is what happens when you don't do anything for so long. You don't have stuff to hand. Oh, here we go. That'll do. Oh, that's a bit more difficult, isn't it? Having all this gantry and stuff in the way. Right, you're a bit close there, fella. So we're just gonna whip round. Well, if he hasn't changed these, I can see why I went through the bed. They're a bit tight. Okay, go. Let's do these back too. Three, come back to this corner. I don't know why you're watching me do this. You've all done this a million times yourself. That's four, so we'll come back to the front again. I'm fairly pleased with that. We go to the middle, see what she's like in the middle. Okay, so she's a bit low in the middle. A bit less tension there, but for what we'll be doing today, I don't think that'll. So the next thing I do is need to chuck some filament at it, don't I? Right, I've got some Prussian over here. we'll grab a bit of lipstick red. We'll bang that on like that. You see, all these cables are going to have to do something about this, aren't they? I can see it becoming an issue. Of course, the other problem is now side cutters, because they didn't send me any. I mean, heathens. Now, you see, again, I am not organised. You see, the temperatures are holding very steady, which is nice. It's always good to see. No real fluctuations going on there, so that's excellent. So there's nothing like going overboard. So we're going to feed up through there, up through there. Okay, we're just going to lower the bed slightly. Not like that, we're not. Oh, that's okay. Yeah. Just want to see. Yeah, that seems to be alright. Just kind of making sure it's going. Yeah, I think everything's the right way around, which is always a very great help. So when I'm doing Z, I'm guessing. Yeah. So we're just going to drop that down. Oh, I have plastic. Plastic, fantastic. Not quite sure you're going to be able to read that, see that, but that looks to be like some kind of, well, I'm not sure. It almost looks to be like a glittery gold translucent resin, which I wouldn't have thought was the best thing to try and do your first print with, but that's by the by. Now, somewhere I have an SD card. In fact, it's here, and on here I think I have something. Good evening, Don, or afternoon, Don, whatever it is. We've got 9 minutes before Chris takes over the world. On here, I think we've got some stuff that might just work on here. I just go back, go back, go back. So yeah, I've got some stuff on here, and I've got a Wexter Mini Shaun from Shaun of the Dead. So I think we will attempt. I can't get my fingers in. Right, this is why I don't like these printers. Can't get my fingers in to get rid of stuff. I think we'll attempt that, shall we? It's blobbing bits of filament out the end of there like nobody's business. Right, it's taking the bed to 60. I can't remember me actually having it at 60, but that must be what I had it set to. So, conclusion so far is that this, if we can get a first layer down, I'm pretty much thinking that apart from getting a new build surface for the top here, because that one is awful, we're well on the way. This could be a lucky buy. So there we go, we're up to 60 degrees. So I'm expecting it to do something now. Oh, it's gone to 61. Calm down. It says bed done. Is this sliced properly? Is it going to work? Got a beep to say heating done. It is putting a purge line down. Right, I'll bring you up to have a look. Oh, I can't. Oh no! You can see off that one, can't you? Can't get that one any higher. That is not too shabby. Can we see that? Let me see if I can't. Swap you over to that one like that. Let's see if I can't bring you in a bit. Now I appear to have got a skirt on it, which I didn't actually intend on doing. So I'll apologise for that now. In fact, it's doing a raft. I didn't think I'd asked it to do a raft. But that appears to be printing. I don't know about you guys, but I would say that was fairly successful. What do you think? It'd be nicer if the focus would work, but we know about these focuses, don't we? I'm fairly pleased with that. And we've just about got it in time. We've got 5 minutes before Chris starts. We have a print running. It's fairly silent, but it's very quiet. But I'm pleased with that. So we'll leave that going. We'll turn around and look at me because you like looking at me. Look at me. I think we might zoom out a bit though, and we might turn the autofocus off as well. We'll do that, and we'll do that. So there we go. So yeah, it would seem that buying an Amazon return printer is worthwhile in this situation. It may not be the same for everyone you get. You may come across all untold problems. The only issues I had with this was missing tools, missing filament, one wire off the extruder plug, which was just a simple matter of pushing it back in, and the damaged bed. Well, that isn't an issue because we can sort that out. When funds allow, I'll buy a bed for it. If anybody can suggest, I quite like a spring steel sheet bed without waiting for Wham Bam to ship, because it takes forever and then you have your money on top and everything else. So unfortunately, Wham Bam for me is out the question, only because of the cost of it and the cost of getting it shipped over and everything else. It just makes it very expensive for what it is. Unless of course Wham Bam are watching and they just want to send me one. I was considering maybe trying one of those, just getting a Prusa Flex plate. I have 2 other smooth ones of those. Maybe sticking one of those on might work. But I'll have a look around Amazon and one thing or another, and if anybody suggests anything that you think will be up to the job, well, let me know. But yeah, this is printing. It's printing fine is the answer. It's printing absolutely fine. It's quiet-ish. It's wobbling to death at the moment because it's on my build table, which I will take down. But yeah, all in all, it looks like we're doing all right. Let's just now you can see that the top down view there, that is still printing quite nicely. In fact, it's still printing very nicely. In fact, if I bring it around there, I mean, I gave it the best chance in the world, didn't I, using Prussiament? You know, if anything's going to do a good print, it's going to be Prussiament. I think I've got the infill a bit low as well. I think the infill's only at 5% or something. But like I say, it's kind of a hacked up printer profile because it was an Ender 3 one that I then did a bit of something on. I think I've even got supports on it as well, believe it or not. And I think anybody knows that for 99.9% of Wexter's models you do not need supports. So this probably wasn't the best thing to try and print with straight away. What I will do is, when it finishes printing, I will bang it out there in Twitter land so you can see how it printed. But my first opinions and my first conclusion is, don't buy an Amazon Return as your first 3D printer. But if you're fairly confident and you've maybe got a few spares and odds and sods lying about, it's worth the risk. That's a £285 printer direct from Creality. It's cost me £100, and that's all it's cost me. I mean, all right, yeah, print bed, another maybe 20-30 quid, but apart from that, I've got a machine with, I would think, less than 20 minutes printing on it by the look of the build surface for £100. So that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Let's all go over there and watch Chris now. We'll log into Chris's basement and have a good look at what he's doing this afternoon. Thank you so much, all 14 of you, for being here. I really do appreciate it. I know I've not put a lot of stuff out recently, and I apologise for that. And if I can keep the momentum going, I will put some other stuff out. Like I say, don't forget those printers that I'm trying to get shot of. If you can maybe help me out there, that would be wonderful. Don't forget, future upcoming video, anybody that owns a Prusa, or really, I would say this will go on any other printer. I don't think it's specifically for the Prusa, but it's a company called Stepper Gear. I'll put that where you can actually read it, and it is basically, it's a pancake stepper motor, which should be a NEMA 17, but a pancake, and it's a 3-to-1 ratio gearbox. That's the label that tells you. You can't really get that in focus, but basically, if you can pause the video, you can read that. And the hole spacing is exactly the same hole spacing as it would be if you were putting the stepper motor straight in. So as long as there's room for your flush plate like that, you can fit this either way up, I guess, to any 3D printer, and it gives you your 3-to-1 gearing. So, like I say, we'll have a future video for that, of me fitting it on the Purple Bear, which is sat here. Again, thanks very much for watching. Don't forget, if you're not subscribed, hit the bell so you get to know when I do something with that. Leave a comment in the description at the end of the video if you'd like to see something, or you'd like to pull me up or something. Thumbs up if you've liked it, thumbs down if you haven't liked it. I like to know whether I'm putting out content that people like. Patreon, there's a link somewhere to Patreon if you'd like to support me, or PayPal. Thanks very much for watching. Let's get over and watch Chris, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.